y'all, Farmer Dre back at it. I am out here in the orchard, and today I'm going to show you guys the 5 easiest steps to prune an apple tree. So what you will need is a pair of loppers or a hand pruner. Today I'm just using a hand pruner. Loppers go faster if you're trying to move through the orchard, but what I'm trying to show you guys today, a hand pruner will be fine. And on these younger trees, hand pruners do really well. It's a small, simple hand pruner. But before we get started, I want to start off by explaining the different types of cuts you need to know before you start pruning. So cut number 1 is just a straight, solid cut. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys on these trees right here. And these trees right here, as you can see here, I'm doing a straight, solid cut. So it's flush the tree, and this is what I say when I say a straight, solid cut. And then the other cut I want to talk about is what we call a stub cut, or a stump, or whatever you want to call it, Dutch cut, whatever. It's just a small little stub that you leave in the tree so you get renewal growth. Let me go ahead and explain what that is. So last year, I came through here and cut this thick branch right here. And this branch was as thick as the main caliper here of the tree, so I chopped it off. And you can see here, this year we got 2 beautiful branches, smaller, thinner branches that renewed from that cut. The buds were enforced in there and popped out a cut. So the stub cuts here renew the growth, and then you get smaller, thinner growing wood. The stub cuts are very important in the high density system, just because you want to renew those branches every so often, every couple of years, so you can have healthier and fresher quality looking fruit. But today I'm going to be explaining and showing you guys how to prune a more traditional tree, a tree that is most typically in your back garden, and we do grow quite a few of these trees out here on our farm. So I'm gonna go ahead and explain how to prune these type of trees in 5 easy steps. So these trees right here, these are Golden Delicious. They're a few years old now. They're 4 years old. They're going in their 5th season now. Beautiful looking trees, a little too big. I mean, a little too much growth from this past season, but it's all right because we will prune this up nicely. And we did harvest a few fruit off these this year, and hopefully this next year we see a lot more fruit coming off these trees right here. So for step number 1, you want to remove all the suckers from underneath the tree. And a sucker is the correct term is anything coming off the rootstock of the tree after graft union, but I say anything that is below your knee. So I'm gonna go ahead and come here, put my knee down, and everything that's grown below these first couple of actual scaffolds are gonna come off. So I'm gonna get my pruners here and go ahead and chop these off with a nice clean straight cut so that we do not get renewal growth from underneath the tree here. Just cut these as fast and as quick as possible, and removing all of these suckers from the bottom of the tree. And as you guys can see here, we try to manage the orchard floor fairly well, keep the grass and everything away from growing in the tree. Just, you don't want a nice thick mat of grass, just because you have other insect and other disease issues and other mites and rodent issues if you have too much thick grass between your trees. And we've learned this the hard way here on our farm. A few years ago, we weren't using anything to prevent the grass from growing, and we were having issues at the crowns of the trees, especially in our young peaches. We were having peach tree borer issues, and with that, we're like, you know what, it's not worth losing your crop just because we can't manage the orchard floor. So you can see here, keep your orchard floors fairly managed. Just a nice strip of grass that's not growing, or weeds, so all the tree can get all the water, all the nutrients, and all the energy goes to growing that tree. So step number 2, I like to say, is remove all damaged or broken branches. And this is just gonna help you out long term, just so you won't have any branches in your tree that are damaged or hurt. So in this tree right here, we don't have any deer issues or anything like that, which is good. But we do have a little bit of branches looking a little funky here because of this post. We put these posts next to every tree to protect the little trees from getting damaged and just to support them. So right here, that is injured right there, as you can see there. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave a nice clean cut there, take that out. Same thing with this branch right here, pull that out. We don't need this canker in our tree or any kind of damage Determining the leader is very important because long term, whenever your tree is nice and big and healthy and you want to renew some of those branches, you have that main trunk or main leader to go ahead and do that. And if you don't, your tree's just going to be a mess and just a big old bush, and long term that's not going to help you out at all. So for step number 3, I like to say is determine what your leader is. And with apple trees, you do want a central leader, a central thick branch that is the center of the tree. And over the year, we had a lot of growth and we kind of lost that main leader. So right here, I'm gonna go ahead and determine what the main leader is. I'm gonna go ahead and chop everything that I don't want to be the leader within a couple inches of the tree there. I don't need a stub cut there, just a nice clean cut branch there. And see here, this is not good. This V right here, one of these has got to be my leader. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave this one right here. This is the main leader now, and that's gonna continue growing up when all the other ones are not taking the power from the leader to continue growing up. And I'm gonna go ahead and chop this one off right here just because it's competing with that main leader. So you gotta find one center leader of your tree. As you can see here, this thick one is the leader of the tree. Step number 4 is cutting anything that is growing into the tree. As an apple tree, you want it to be nice and vased out and beautiful. So anything that's growing inside of the tree or towards the tree or something that's really crooked, you do not want that in your tree. For example, this branch right here, as you can see there, it's growing inside the tree. Chop that out. So anything that's growing inside the tree, you do not want that inside growing because it's just going to cause problems long term. So like that, anything that's growing inside the tree here, pull it off. That is no good, and we don't want this in our tree at all. And because these trees are fairly young, you want to make sure you leave plenty of room for the older branches that are coming in. So the main scaffolds that you want to keep, you want to leave room for them to grow and to prosper. So like this branch right here, there's nothing wrong with it, but it is just too close and it's cramming the thicker ones. So I'm going to go ahead and use my left hand and try to chop this one up here. There you go. We don't want that there. Take that out. And then this bottom one, once again, pull that off, just because below these main scaffold. And one thing I want to keep in mind is we got to come through and harvest them, or our customers who are doing the U-pick, so they want to be able to fit inside the tree to pick the apples that are growing in the center of the tree. And if you don't leave enough room for your customers or for yourself to get in the tree, how do you expect the sunlight and the energy to be developed throughout the entire tree? And cutting overcrowded branches, so we got one nice thick branch here, but then we have another one. So one of these got to go. So I'm just gonna leave this thick, nice one here. These are overcrowded right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and probably chop that one right there, chop that one, and then probably come in here and chop that one right there just to leave enough room to enter into the tree there. So just keeping an eye out for that and anything that's overlapping each other. You gotta keep in mind, you gotta have sunlight growing in the tree, and without sunlight, your fruit won't color and you have problems long-term with that as well. So keeping the tree nice and organized and nice and clean. As you guys can see here, this is just too overcrowded in this area. We have 3 beautiful branches here that are just growing, but this is just too much. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull out the center one here, take that out, take the bottom one out here so we can clean that up a little bit there, and cut these a little bit. And now we have cleaned up the tree, and there's not as many, there's not as much clutter inside the tree now. Sunlight could fit in there, and the energy and nutrients will be dispersed throughout the entire tree. Chop all these small ones here. Those don't have any fruiting buds on them anyway. So just cleaning up the tree here, making sure the branches are not overlain and they are fairly open to allow sunlight to get into the tree here. So for step number 5, just take a step back, and just from a back perspective, look at the tree and say, you know, what do I got to do now? Look at the top of the trees, make sure none of the branches are overcrowding, and then whenever you see that, it's done. You're done pruning the tree. That fast and that easy. Having so many trees here on our farm, we don't like to spend too much time and energy pruning each individual tree. We can take a lot longer time to perfect the entire tree, but as long as there's plenty of room for sunlight and there's plenty of room for you to enter in the tree, you should be good to go. We got entire rows here to prune, and with the high density trees, same thing. You can't spend all day on the tree pruning it. So just to pull out those biggest branches, make sure the trees have plenty of room and plenty of sign entering the tree. You have that main scaffold and you are good to go. Alrighty, y'all, this is gonna be it for today. Just a quick little video showing you guys how to prune an apple tree in 5 easy steps. If you guys haven't already, go ahead and check out farmerdresupply.com to get all your fertilizers, all your growing needs for this growing season. Your seeds, fertilizers, fertilizer injectors, all that good stuff is at farmerdresupply.com. If you guys haven't already, go and hit that subscribe button, smash that like button if you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget, hit that notification icon so you guys can be notified whenever I do upload a video. I want to say thanks for watching up to this point. Y'all have a good day, and we will see you next time.